both sides in some very good form currently, but will the challenge be too large for the Dusties? Welcome back to the Fairhaven Homes Match of the Round stream in the West Gippsland League. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Bailey Allen, ready for what should be an intriguing clash between the Phillip Island and Warragul Industrials Football Club. Now, before I get us underway for the rest of the season, it will just be me, and unfortunately Aidan Box will no longer be with us as he is gathered across some other opportunities in life, and we're really happy for him down here with the Red Onion team. So best of luck for the future, Aidan Boxy, and we're going to really miss having him around here on the Saturday afternoons. But anyways, Dusties versus the Bulldogs in what should be an entertaining clash here at Western Park. Wow, what a beautiful sunny day it is today. Mind you, it is a little bit windy, so with kicking, we could have a little bit of struggles there. A couple could go a bit off. I'm not sure if you can see on your screen there, but you've got a couple trees and they're really starting to shake a little, so targets are going to be a bit harder to hit today. But as I said in the just moments ago, that both teams are in some real good form, more for a Phillip Island perspective, but geez, Warragul have been good as well. In their last 6 games, they've been Garfield by 33, Kilcunda by 35, Dalston by 88. They lost to Inverloch by 24 here at home a couple of weeks ago, but keep in mind, they put on a really good showing there and really only fell away in that last quarter. They lost to Tooradin by 14, the reigning premiers, and then they beat Cooey-Rupp by 27 last week. So they had a really shaky year to the start. Lost to Phillip Island by 26 in round 1 in the pouring rain on Easter weekend, then lost to Tooradin by 12. And the big loss there was at Inverloch away, and they lost that one by 75 points. And we were starting to think that the Dalston Footy Club might take their spot in finals instead. But, oh geez, since that midway point of the year, around about round 9, they have really turned their season around, and they're probably going to get that 6th spot come season's end. If you want to talk about Phillip Island, well, geez, they've really just put themselves out there as a premiership contender for yet another year. 2018, 2019, of course, they were in scintillating form, won back-to-back flags. 2021, the season was cancelled, and then last year they made the grand final only to fall short to Tooradin Dalmore, but this year they have looked a lot better than last year. Even despite making the grand final, there were just points through season 2022 where the Phillip Island, they just looked a little bit shaky, but this year they've only got the one loss. They've got 12 wins to their name, and they've only got the one draw as well against Narnagoon in round 4. We covered that game, and that was a really exciting one. But both teams just coming out of their huddles now. Congratulations to both teams. There's some milestone games here for Matt Jones, number 15 for the Phillip Island Bulldogs. He's playing his 100th senior game today. And something I found surprising, Nick Visser is also playing his 100th senior game today. And it really surprised me because he's just such a bull, courageous player. I would have imagined him to play a lot more of senior footy. Keep in mind, 100 games is still an incredible feat, but I thought he would have just played that little bit more, but perhaps not. Let's go through your ins and outs for Warragul Industrials. Ins, Mark Bradley. Wow, that's a big in, especially against Cam Pedersen, who's probably the hottest player in the game at the moment. He's in good form, isn't he? Cody Templeton, he usually plays in the 4ths, but he's coming into the senior side today, the young fella. And then the outs, Stephen Joyce and Ben Northover. As for Phillip Island, Jason Tamata, that's a big in. Tully Dickey, Noe B. Hickman, and your outs are Cameron Brown, Daniel Burke, and Max Blake, which hurts them down forward a little bit. I know that Jack Taylor is a pretty talented forward, but I would go on a leg and say if Pedersen's in the ruck, it's usually Max Blake that is their best performing forward, in my opinion at least. So, sunny day out here at Western Park in Warragul. Can't wait to get this contest underway. So Pedersen just outreached Bradley there in the end, didn't he? Ball going out towards the wing, tumbling around. Free kick's going to be paid in the way of Phillip Island. Should be Cam Pedersen taking this one. And it will. Just Or it won't be Pedersen, rather. So free kick in the middle of the ground. Does a lateral sort of kick, but gains a bit of meterage as well. Now on the right, going up forward. No mark taken. Goes to ground level. Pedersen falls over the top of himself. Plays just trying to get a good piece of the footy here. Goes tumbling. Looking to exit outside of defensive 50 here, the Dusties. Just can't really get clean possession at the moment. Good start for the Dogs and their pressure up forward. They eventually escape. Tamata was lurking at the back. Tried to get first possession of the footy. Was unlucky not to get a good piece of it. Griffin goes to Pedersen. Helicopter sort of kick up forward. Geez, that really should have been a mark taken down there in defensive 50. Luckily, they're able to recover. Commodore kicks up the ground, finds Brewster. And he'll just wait a while. And then not a great kick there. And then uncontested, about, I'd say maybe 45 metres out. There's a Phillip Island forward just trying to get the number there. And what does that say? 25. So Jack Puppers will be lining up for his first of the day, the first for the Bulldogs. As I said, they are in some brilliant form. And what a good way to start their day if he kicks this one. And won't get such luxury. Just a behind for the Bulldogs. But their first score of the day comes as a point. And now Warragul out of full back. Really struggled so far to get it down the ground super efficiently. They've had some trouble with their disposal efficiency early on in the opening minutes of the game, but here we go. This is looking a lot cleaner. Is the ball going to roll inside 50? No, the work from the half-backs was good. Maybe not that, though. Mark McMillan was under constant pressure and then snaps it. Or is that going to make its way home? No, that is so unlucky. Very unlucky not to get the goal there. So now Debenham, he'll put up forward. Big mark there from Staples. So Staples just wasn't really in the most advantageous position there, but put his arms out in front and took a really good mark. So Staples just composing himself here. He should get this. I'd say maybe about 7 metres out. Should be as simple as that. And perhaps not, because Staples has missed off to the right. But Warragul have suddenly got the lead. Only by the slightest of margins, though. 0-2-2. Play 0-1-1. On your Totally Workwear scoreboard. Warragul in front in this one as we're just waiting for the ball to be fetched out here to Mark Griffin. So Griffin, he's going to play on out of full back here. Found his way to Bruce. Wants the ball through the middle here. He's not going to get it back. So Bruce, a direct sort of kick. Didn't really hit a target. More just put it into space. Going up forward. Here's Staples again. Off by hands. The execution wasn't all that good to his teammate in Beveridge, though. He's still putting in a good fight to put pressure on that footy, though. Bruce just chucks a handball straight into the air. Pedersen, the ball escaped his grasp. Bradley was head first into it. Debenham got it through hands. And then they're going to move out here. Oldham got a good piece. Out to Debenham again. Just such a hard worker, isn't he? Mockett at the back. Good punch to Mana. Only went as far as Debenham again, though, who enters inside 50. Putting out into space. Can they recover here? Well, the Bulldogs, and they'll just concede and go over the boundary line. Nick Visser perhaps asking for deliberate out of bounds, but there is no such thing in the West Gippsland Footy League. So we'll have a boundary throw in instead. Good clash so far, especially in the coalface. Thrown in. So Mockett try to get a good piece of it after Nickel gave it out. Oldham snaps around the body. Ball still fairly close to goals here. Is this finally a good look? No. That's going to be out on the full. And that was by Todd Beck, I believe. So Walker. Debenham again. He's had plenty of the footy to start off. And can he get a goal to his name as well? No, he can't. It's the post. My goodness, that is agonising, isn't it? Debenham, wow, he has been really good in this opening 6 minutes, though. He is just getting the footy everywhere. Griffin, it was a really easy kick. Probably should have marked that uncontested as well. Pearce, regardless, executed that kick perfectly. So Phillip+Island playing coast-to-coast footy here. They're now inside 50. Here's Bruce from 50 out, and that's just going to stick left and not drift its way home. So inaccuracy proving to be a trouble for both teams so far. We've had 5 behinds combined. Yet to have a major score. 3-2. Dusty's up by a point. Early stages of this first quarter. So Warragul Industrials just assessing their options here, seeing what lies in front of them. Mockett came in with a fist, only went back into the Bulldogs 50, however. And that's a good mark under pressure in defence. So they've just really slowed it down here, Warragul, after playing some real hot footy. Fast and quick. Oh, geez, Beck went up there really high. Didn't get a good piece of it, though. So Phillip+Island, a re-entry again. It's going to be intercepted this time by Bailey Beck. But Warragul, as I said before, they just haven't been able to move it really fast like they were just moments ago. Bradley almost got a good mark there. Oh, might have been Herbert. Didn't see the number at the back there. I think it was Bradley in the end, though. It was. So Pedersen, easiest hit out of his life. Here's Hindhaw in the long sleeves. Bruce trying to tap it to himself, but he's turned it over here. So now going out to the wing. Beveridge lurking at the back, ready to crumb. Didn't get a clean pace of the footy, though, and that's thanks to Pearce for the Bulldogs, who was putting in a really good effort. Free kick paid here in the way of Warragul Industrials. So just stuck out here at centre wing. Kick wasn't great for Beveridge. Still has a hold of the Sharon, though. Got it loose. Now just tapping it to himself is the Bulldog here in Kai McKenzie. Spinning out of trouble. And then putting out forward for Beck. Just going from wing into the middle of the grounds. That is something we like to see here in the West Gippsland League. Brewster just wasn't good enough in the marking contest. So Phillip+Island get this one out of their defensive 50. Only goes back out to Beck, though, for the Dusties. He'll just take a couple steps back and take his time. Will he go for a direct option, or will he put it into space here? He's going to go the latter. So Beck still looking dangerous here. Is this a major? No. Out on the full. And Warragul Industrials, the amount of behinds they've scored, they could have had a very good start already. Just haven't been all that good in front of the goal. We've had 3 behinds and 2 out on the fulls. Griffin, a booming long kick up the wing. Was Bradley pushing the back? Probably. The Industrials playing some really good footy here. Entering inside 50. Staples almost got a good piece of it. And then exiting out is Patullo. Puts it out back towards that wing sort of area. Bradley taps it to a teammate in Beck. He's going to enter inside 50 again. That kick's really good, but came off the chest of McGarity. Patullo looking to go right through directly in the middle of the grounds. Oh no, a mistake has been made here by the Dusties. Taylor just got it off in the nick of time. Jordan Got out to Hindhaugh. That kick's not all that accurate. And they're going to pay. That is going enough distance. Fell in the hands of Gibson. Nickel. Putting out forward. Overhead mark there from Herbert. Now go further towards the boundary line now. I think Bradley wants it here. He's pointing at the exact spot he wants it. Didn't really go anywhere near where he wanted it though. Staples came off his hands. Here was Gibson, I believe. Griffin off on the turnover, looking to put it back in the ground, but he's had a turnover himself now. Trying to get past was Beck, and holding the ball, and not Beck, sorry, it was Ogden. And now McKenzie. Pedersen through the middle of the ground. Very good kick inside 50. Eventually got it to a teammate directly in front of goal. Point blank range for Tully Dickey, who is one of the ins for today for Phillip Island. And that was a solid way of moving the ball around the ground. Pedersen, wow, just such a impactful player in the middle of the ground, isn't he? It was a very good kick up forward to Jordan. And then it was just Dickey there at the end who was able to leak out the back and get a good one. So back in the centre circle now. 8 plays 3 in your totally workwear scoreboard. Bradley still holding his own. Herbert running out. Mark uncontested here on the wing. Taylor had to reach down to get it, didn't he? Brushing off a player, now entering inside 50. Staples looms large again. Not this time though. Just got to get a kick off here. Visser, 100 games. Can he run on and kick one? No, wasn't executed all that well. And then Griffin misread the bounce and will go through for another behind. Warragul Industrials, 4th of the day. They've had 6 scoring opportunities and have not scored a major from one of them yet. Griffin, the kick out of fullback was solid. Looking to go through to the middle of the ground again. Here's Puppers. Pedersen. Another big booming kick from him. We expect nothing less. Taylor chasing really hard for it, the forward and the skipper. Is that made its way home? It has! Jack Taylor has scored one of the best goals you'll see this round from an incredibly tight angle. And Phillip Island all of a sudden are up by 10 points. Dusties, geez, they've just been a little bit wasteful, haven't they? So 2-2-14 plays 0-4-4. That's right, the Dusties yet to kick a major, and they've had plenty of opportunities to do so. Need one now as a response. They can't let it get it too far in front of them. So ball was tumbling up forward. Herbert under the pack. Several players trying to rip it free. None of them could. Umpire will have a stoppage at around about the centre half forward area for Warragul. Gibson running away from Bruce. Now putting it inside 50 for Staples on the chest. Oh no, just lost the grab, but umpire deemed he had a good enough piece of it. Jeez, I thought that was a little bit stiff. Jesse Patullo did really good there to impact the contest, and I think Staples probably just didn't have enough control of it at the end, but umpire's call was a mark. And geez, this footy side, they really need it. Because Phillip Islands, they're not looking all that slow. Need to make the most of their opportunities. Staples from 45 metres out. First major of the day for the Dusties. And it is. Could have been touched at the line, but the goal umpire has deemed it to be a goal. So back down to a 4-point margin. Phillip Island up in this one. If you're just joining us here for the Fairhaven Homes match of the round stream. Last time it was Phillip Island at home, winning by 26 points. Like I said in the pre-game show, it was a really rainy, wet and just horrid day. We weren't in a club room like we are in today as well here at Warragul. We were outside underneath a tent. It was a very, very cold day. Pedersen, strong hit out in the middle. But Warragul have claimed possession once again. Nickel going against the flight of the ball. He's going to have to chase his opponent here to get a good piece of it in Dickey. And should be a ball up here. Out it's on the wing. Opposite to the broadcast side. Pedersen versus Bradley. It's been such an enthralling contest so far already, hasn't it? We know Pedersen is probably the best ruck in the competition by a long mile, but wow, Bradley is going to really be in the conversation for some of the best out there. Not many competing against him at all this year. Ball doesn't really get any distance, just goes high in the air, punched out by the Bulldogs. And then it'll go back out to centre wing. So just snapped across the body by Pearce. That is a torpedo sort of ball. Didn't really go horizontal though, more a vertical angle. Solid tackle. Got to be holding the ball. Wonderful tackle there. Possibly saved the goal as well. Gibson, good slide to collect that one into his chest. Can't really say the same about the kick to Brewster though. It's going to go over the boundary line. As we're 17 minutes and 40 seconds through this one. Gibson trying his hardest to get out. He did. I just haven't really had too much of that clean footy today though, the Dusties though, haven't they? They've really been fumbly and tumbly. I haven't been able to dispose the ball that efficiently. McKenzie, excellent mark under pressure. He's going to run off his line. Duke's one way. And he's found himself in a bit of trouble here. Has turned the ball over because of it as well. So Walker is going to find a teammate. I think that's in Debenham. Visser. 100 senior games, as I mentioned before. Straight down the wing. Taylor's got his work cut out for him. Good mark there from Patulo. Good leap. He's going to cut back into the middle of the ground. I don't think any of his teammates realised what he was doing though. So Warragul Industrials have a really good opportunity to pounce here. Ball's going to go at ground level. And it was good work from the Bulldogs to trap the ball there, because that could have turned really ugly if Warragul got the numbers back in front of the ball. Pedersen, good hit out there to Pearce. Just puts one up. And another turnover out here at half back. Their efficiency going inside 50. Phillip Island, it's been, leaves a little bit to be desired, you'd say. Turned the ball over a lot with just rush kicks, but you could say the same about Warragul Industrials really in terms of their accuracy in front of goal. Just haven't been the cut above so far. Bradley got the run out in front. Bruce stood tall to smother that kick from Brewster. They might be out here now, the Dogs. They've found themselves in a bit of trouble though, or perhaps they've not. So here's a Pitts. Puts it out forward and it's going to go straight back to the Dusties. Backman again. They'll be able to get it through some uncontested hands here. McGivleray. Walker at true centre wing. Cuts it across. Commodore Only just got a good piece of it. Brewster now, off by hands, straight through the middle, entertaining football. Staples! I heard a whistle, and that is a right free kick as well. Had a good piece of him, did Tamata. And Staples can go for his second major of the day now. He has been probably the most impactful player at the minute, him and Debenham. Every ball going inside 50 has been targeted towards this big fella. The kick's on its way. Doesn't have the accuracy, however. McGarity! No, they're going to call it out on the full. Unlucky there. McGarity was on a 2-on-1 situation, but out on the full was probably the right decision there from the boundary umpire. So they'll go tight along this boundary line and find Jai Jordan. He's told to move it on. So he kicks a short one. It's been intercepted there by Herbert. Was really brave to cut in front of Pedersen there, who's the much bigger man. Herbert runs off his line. Ran into a little bit of trouble, but got it off to Nickel. Not that good of a kick, though. Straight into the hands of Griffin, who's played a good game so far in this first term. Kicking just for either side hasn't been all that efficient. In the middle of the ground here, this is dangerous here for Warragul Industrials. This is where they play their best footy, Phillip Island. But Oldham wins the contest and got out to Nickel. Uncontested now. McGarity has to go down to try scoop it into his grasp. Good tackle laid there. I think that might have been Templeton. McMillan came off the hands of Mackenzie. Got it back from his teammate though, and now has an acre of space in front of him, so he can go for a bit of run. And then a bit of an inaccurate kick. Their centre half back. Too easy for the Industrials. Debenham tried to get out to Beck, but the kick left a lot to be desired. 23 minutes now in this first quarter. Low scoring contest, but it's been an entertaining one to watch, and clearances seems to be the deciding factor in this game, and really efficiency up forward, because neither side have been able to really capture form up forward in this one. Early days though. O'Pitts puts it up forward. Can they get another sneaky little goal here? Pearce, I believe that is bending across. No, won't go behind the goal line though, and that's going to be marked here regardless by Phillip Island. Or maybe not kicked. I was just struggling to see what happened there, but the goal umpire is called for a behind. So now a 15-point lead in favour of the Phillip Island Footy Club, but a 50-metre penalty's been paid here. I don't think he stood on the mark, the Phillip Island forward there, so Warragul Industrials will be able to gain a bit of meterage. Walker out onto the wing, had Oldham if he wanted to, instead went to Beck, who's up against Walker. And the ball will just tumble its way across the boundary line here for a stoppage. Siren, you'd suspect, would be going shortly, as a very good game of footy is starting to shape itself up. Visser, strong run onto the ball here, and then is happy to walk over the boundary line. Gets his team further inside 50. Good throw in. Mockett fell into Pedersen. And then Pedersen in response just sock it off the ground. Try to get it to Hindhaugh, but Gibson has now won possession of the footy. Debenham got past a couple of Phillip Island Bulldogs and then turned it over. O'Pitts goes to Hindhaugh. I'm telling you, this is where they play their best footy, Phillip Island. They're just got to get it inside 50 and have a look at this. Running out is Woodfield, but was beat out by his opponents. Wonderful job. I think that might be McGivleray, and that has been the best play all day for Warragul Industrials. Faced against 3 different Phillip Island players there and still won possession of the footy. Wonderful work there for McGivleray. Simply superb. Mockett couldn't mark it. Are they going to pay for Pedersen? No, the call's play on. And Griffin is arguing the umpire, and I don't think Pedersen got the first touch to it, so I think that's a good call there from the umpire. Bradley had no eyes on the ball as well. Just tried to crunch into his opponent there. We'll have another stoppage. Real close to the boundary line here. So high contact. This time Pedersen's going to get the free kick he desired. Puts it out into the middle of the ground, but didn't get any time to create an opportunity with Kai McKenzie. That will do us all for the first quarter. 2-3-15 plays 1-4-10 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. Both teams have been a little bit wasteful with their ball usage, but geez, in the contest it has been a really entertaining brand of footy to watch from either team really. Just got to improve the accuracy going up forward. We'll take a short break. It's Phillip Island up.
Hey, I'm Michael Van Klooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
So welcome back to the Fairhaven Homes Match of the Round stream in the West Gippsland League, and we've had a clash between the Phillip Island Bulldogs and the Warragul Industrials Footy Club today. And so far, after the first term of footy, it is the Phillip Island Footy Club up by 5 points. And just before we went off air there, Phillip Island, I said the Phillip Island and Warragul just been a little bit inefficient with their ball use and going up forward. In the case of Phillip Island, they've been turning the ball over so much. Just their kicks up forward have simply not been good enough. And as for Warragul, they're finding the right people inside 50. They're getting re-entries, but just their accuracy on their set shots and their kicking in general going towards goal has just not been good enough. But you expect either one of these teams are going to lift in what is set to be a huge second quarter, I should say. So here we go again. Back in the middle. Bradley won that hit out. And then here's Pearce. Just going to rotate around, and that is some good handballing there. Brown goes to Hindhall. How good is that through the middle? They're just going to finish it off here. Woodfield goes to Hindhall, who puts it up real high. And then McGivleray, the hero, scored the play on, however. Beck has to be careful here. And Debenham's given away a free kick. Pushed Bruce there in the back. And the free kick was probably there as well, despite Debenham shaking his head. So Bruce has probably been the best midfielder for the Bulldogs this season. And he's that sort of guy that wins a lot of the contested footy, but he can go up forward of the ball as well. He can kick a couple for his Phillip Island footy team. And then he does exactly that. His first of the day, and for Phillip Islands, their third. As I mentioned, he's certainly one of the better kicks in front of goal, at least for midfielders. And they have climbed back out to an 11-point lead in the first 90 seconds of football. So resuming play now. Bradley, it was a good punch. Here's Bruce. Got out to Pearce. Just that ball just bumping around in between hands, and it eventually is called dead. And we'll have a ball up, reviving play once again. Gibson, Herbert, entering inside 50, looking for an option. Couldn't get to anyone, but they've got numbers out the back here. And was that called holding the ball? It was. I think that might have been Nickel there, who couldn't get to it in time. Pedersen rebounded off his hands. Still got a good piece of it though. dish it off immediately, who was caught. And it's going to be a free kick for Beck. Decent kick going up forward. And then just couldn't hit McGarity on the chest there. Visser, handball to McGarity, getting it through hands. That's better, Dusties. But they've missed. Oh, no, they haven't. It is a major, another one for the Dusties, their second of the day. And it is a seesawing affair here down at Western Park. So 3-3-21 plays 2-4-16 in your Totally Workwear scoreboard. As I mentioned, it's just kind of blow for blow at the minute. Bradley puts it out into space, marked immediately by Phillip-Island. Bruce scooped it up from the deck. Pedersen back over to Bruce, who gave a strong handball. I think that's Tamata who's pushed up the grounds. Now on the wing, moving forward. And that is a solid mark. Out. Will he back himself in here? He won't. And they'll play on to Jack Taylor. Good decision there from Jordan. Jordan probably just didn't think he had the distance in here, but Jack Taylor, we know what he's capable of. He can certainly put this through. Won the club BNF for Trinity Beach up in Cairns in 2021. Was a Team of the Year player in 2022, but he's missed that one. And his first score of the day will be a behind. Here's Russell. First time we've called his name today. Goes along the wing. Looking for a teammate, and Pedersen is going to get a deserved free kick there. Mockett came in swinging with his arm. Pedersen puts it up for a number of forwards there. Oh, geez, Woodfield really should have marked that, but have a look at that. It's missed right in front of goal. I thought they could have got that off the deck quite easily. But another miss for the Islands. 3-5-23 now plays 2-4-16 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. And, geez, I must say, Phillip-Island, just a big score is looking looming. Here's that man in Pedersen. It's probably daylight between him and the second best player in the competition. He's been an absolute superstar this year despite his veteran sort of age. Straight kick right to Debenham, who took a clean intercept mark. So Debenham will play on, looking for an uncontested man out there on the wing. Wasn't read well by the defender and Walker. So Beck, now Ogden, could go for a bit of a run, but Walker's pressuring him pretty good. Had to take a bounce. Was getting pretty close to that 15-metre limit. Marked in the middle of the ground by the Dusties. Now going forward, Brewster. Can Staples take a good mark? He can't. Mockett was there. Didn't get a piece of it though. McGarity, so creative, so clever, bending its way through. McGarity, that is why he's one of the most dangerous forwards this competition has to offer. Phillip-Island were looking really good, getting repeat entries inside 50, and then all it took was a couple of kicks and some brilliant forward craft from Mason McGarity, and it's down to a point. What a huge scalp this would be for the Warragul Industrials if they're able to get this one. Of course, last year fell by 2 points in the preliminary final. That famous after the siren kick for Phillip Island that put them into the grand final. Of course, went on to lose that one to Tooradin Dalmore. But these two clubs are certainly starting to create an intense rivalry with each other. So I think it was Commodore dribbled it across the ground to Mockett. Have a look at this. Beck directly in front of goal. Couldn't get it to a forward. They've picked it up nicely here though. So that's Beveridge on a very tight angle. Ball still out there in front of goals. Can any Warragul Industrial player get a good clean piece of it? They can't. And now they're going to move Mackenzie. He's going to go for a run. Ball only just stayed in bounds by mere centimetres. Pedersen in the middle of the ground. Hindhaugh should take an uncontested mark. Here he does. Plays on immediately. Looking for Jack Taylor. Running to space. Couldn't take a clean mark. Wonderful tackle there. Brilliant. But he's played on straight away. Bailey Beck was lucky because he found Commodore, who then went Oldham and then back to Commodore. Now to Sando. First time calling his name as well. Beck. Still trying to wrap my head around how Jack Taylor couldn't create a goal-scoring opportunity there. Bailey Beck has been one of the better backmen in the competition this year. Put excellent pressure on Taylor. Bradley knocked it out of the ruck. Nickel was holding his man there. Good call, umpire. Pearce is going to do a lateral sort of kick into the centre square. And then a mark taken by Dickey, who scored the first goal of the game for the Phillip Island Bulldogs. Debenham gave a little bit of a don't argue, then dished it off to Walker. Now Beck finds McGarrity left all alone on the wing. He's probably got the legs here. He's going to go for a little bit of a run and then halt himself up and go to Herbert, who'll play on himself, trying to escape the fast-running Dickey. Now Nickel from 50 out isn't going to go for it, but put it up for Beveridge. And doesn't result in anything but a boundary throw-in in the pocket for Warragul Industrials. And they can take the lead here with a goal. They can tie it up with a point. First 10 minutes of the second quarter. So Staples always had the advantage in the ruck there over Tamata. And then he's going to run through. And he's going to score a goal as well. So all of a sudden, Warragul Industrials have taken a 5-point lead. After being so inaccurate in front of goal, they have kicked 3 goals straight in this second quarter, and that one came from Staples. Thought it might have just drifted off to the left there, but no, it was a very well executed sort of kick. Bradley was pushing the back there. They're not going to pay him a free kick. Not sure about that call. Umpiring has been pretty good today regardless though. Mackenzie gave it out to Bruce. Fates out one player. Then went back to Mackenzie. Bruce probably wants it back here. He won't. Mackenzie's just going to play on. Put it up forward for Pedersen, who's no longer playing in the ruck. And we know what damage he can do when he goes up forward of the ball. But Walker got the best of him in that occasion. Russell to Oldham. Just a little hesitant to give it off straight away. Eventually plays on. He'll put it out into the big pack forming. Visser misread it a little bit. I think that's Holmes there. It is a re-enter inside 50. And they're going to pay a free kick there to Geordie Patullo, who cops a little bit of high contact. So Patullo with a set shot here in windy conditions. can perhaps give his side back the lead. It'd only be a singular point. Still early days in the second though. Patullo has struck that beautifully, directly in front from about 47 metres out. And Phillip Islands now hold that 1 point lead like I mentioned before. Really just seesawing here, isn't it? Been a great contest to watch so far. Phillip Island, they are, of course, looking to get their 10th win in a row here. Warragul looking for only their 2nd in a row, coming off that win against Warragul+V+Phillip last week. So should have a stoppage here. It's eventually called. So the ball up gave Bradley a good advantage. Didn't really hit it out to any of his teammates though, because they've been able to get it through a couple hands here, the Dogs. Hindhaw looking for Pedersen. His handball was largely inaccurate. It was intended for Taylor. Went to one of his opposition players though. And on the broadcast side of the wing, we'll have a ball up here. So Oldham trying to spin his way out of trouble. Only just got a kick off in the end. Walker out to his teammate in Templeton, who puts a really good kick out in front of McGarity. Oh, it's made its way all the way home. And Templeton has scored his first goal in senior footy. So all of a sudden, they've reclaimed the lead. Warragul Industrials. It's back out to 5 points. And that is his 2nd goal of the year. And in fact, my mistake, Templeton did kick a goal in round 6 against Warragul+V+. So apologies for that one. Nonetheless, Visser looking to put his side back inside 50. Good overhead mark there. I think that's Taylor. Sure is. Kane Taylor. Warragul have not had a lead above a goal all day in this one. 16.5 minutes through the 2nd quarter. Taylor calm as ever. Kick didn't look too bad, but it's going to drift all the way over to the left. And they're now in front by Kick the Dusties. Scoreboard reads 5-5-35 to 4-5-29 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. So we're just fetching the ball back here from the cars. You see Mark Griffin. It's either behind the Volvo or the Ute over there. And he's retrieved the footy here. So ready to get things back on the way shortly. So Griffin out onto the wing. Bradley placing a Shepherd there. And has in fact won his team back the ball because Ogden has gone forward. And his kick went straight into the hands of Patullo of the Jesse variety. So he'll do another kick up the wing himself. Looking for Pedersen. Hit him right in the face. Fell to ground as he was trying to handball. Have a look at Debenham there, running really hard. McGillivray goes to Walker. Now Walker out back onto the wing. Taylor, it was good pressure from him. Now Russell to Commodore. Really composed footy here. Calm themselves back down the Dusties. Ogden out on centre wing. He'll put a kick up forward into the forward 50. Staples. Excellent mark. With Walker right next to him. Believe he's already got the 2 majors today. This would be for his 3rd, if I am correct. So Staples is going to walk in. That kick has got nowhere near enough distance in there. Don't know what he's done there to not get enough. I don't think it even made its way into the goal square. So I think it's Patullo's just been asked to move over a little bit. Back out on the wing. And a high contact free kick is going to go in the way of Phillip+Island. So Brown, or rather Bruce I should say, on the flank. Gets past 3 different Dusties players before putting a bomb up forward for Taylor, who almost took an excellent one-hand grab, I should say. Brewster went in head first with that tackle. Gibson chasing hard for it, trying to win his team back possession of the footy. Puppers. Here's Tamana. Bruce, and then all alone. Have a look there, it's Jones in his 100th game. And if he can kick this one, wow, his team's really going to get around him. Ran through the banner as they entered on the ground. Matt Jones drifts off to the right a little bit, kicks on its way, but no, it's going to go a little bit too far out to the left. And it's back down to 5 points for the Dusties. Lost control of it, did Beck. Got a kick away somehow. Walker. McKenzie. He'll kick across the other side of the ground to the wing. Check side sort of kick to Walker, who leapt up well. Even with Jordan and Jones imposing themselves there in the contest. Risky sort of kick. Commodore, they're going to claim it to be a mark. Uncontested was Beveridge. Now Mockett. Gibson. And that's Visser now. So just slowly moving the ball down into the forward 50. Full forward McGarity. Lacks in height, but geez, he's got a lot of strength and a lot of courage. Could have got cleaned up by 2 Phillip+Island players there, but just stretched out the arms, and a 50-metre penalty is going to be paid as well. Maybe for dissent, not sure what that was entirely for. And McGarity, the easiest goal of his life. About a metre out, can just dribble it home. Industrials now up by 11. So Warragul have certainly been the better team in this second quarter. Pretty sure they've kicked 4 or 5 goals in this second quarter alone. And they have been in scorching form. Jones just escaped with a disposal. Went to his opposition in Beveridge though. And now moving it inside forward 50. Who can get this one? Pedersen. Rolling back in defence. Oh my God, he just absolutely murdered McGarity there, but that is a lot of eye contact. Wow, he absolutely dropped Mason McGarity there, illegally might I add. And that is not something you see from Cam Pedersen a lot. Just an ill-advised action. But McGarity now has the opportunity to kick back-to-back goals and put his team up by 17 points against the Phillip Island Footy Club. And he's done exactly that, McGarity. His boys are loving it, and then he's getting into Bruce as well. Little bit of push and shove between either club here. So if you're just joining us now, it is 7:5:47 or 4:6:30. Warragul Industrials have played one of the best quarters of footy they've played all year as a football club. And Phillip Island are in real danger at the minute. Have just been nowhere near as tough or classy throughout the entirety of this second term. 24 and a half minutes through this one. In the second quarter, Brewster gave it off easily, found a teammate, entering inside 50. McGarity has been impactful in this second quarter, especially in the last couple of minutes. Ball's going to go to ground level. Umpire calls for the ball back. Pedersen punched it out to Beveridge. He enters inside 50 for his team. Staples, did he have a good enough piece? Apparently not. It was a bit unlucky not to get the mark there. But they're directly in front of goals again, Warragul. Looking dangerous as ever. Throwing up Mockett, trying to bull his way through the contest. Phillip Island are able to get out of defensive 50 for now. DeSando had possession ripped away from him. A Pitts. Handball wasn't executed greatly. And then Beck can just hit the chest of, I think that's Todd Beck there. Certainly is. And from almost the exact points McGarity had his set shot just moments ago. Beck about to go on to half-time. This would really hurt Phillip Island. Runs off his line a little bit, sticks straight for Beck. He's loving it as well. And have a look at all of the Dusties players there. Encouraging stuff. As they are playing some of the best footy they've shown us all year. They lead by 23 points at this current minute. And I don't think most people would have expected this going into half-time. I think despite Warragul really challenging some of the better teams this year, I think Phillip Island was still probably the red-hot favourite despite being away. But Warragul Industrials have not listened to the outside noise at all, and they have put in a classy performance in this second quarter. Bradley hit out to Brewster, and then they're going to enter inside 50 again, or perhaps not. It's going to be picked off down there at flank, back flank there for Holmes, and he'll find Pedersen in the centre square, who's now playing in defence. Was pushed forward. He's played a bit of everywhere. Today he was pushed forward, now he's gone down back. Was of course, playing in the ruck as well. Intercepted well by Walker. He'll play on. Swivelling sort of kick. They've got possession again. McGarity snaps it across. It's another goal for the Dusties. McGarity has been at another level. And he has kicked 3 now in this second quarter alone. And is certainly making a strong case for 3 votes as well. Mason McGarity was really hotly contested there in that pocket, but was just cleaner and better in the contest. Scooped the ball to himself, kicked another major for his footy club. Now 28 minutes through. Can't be much longer left in this first half of footy. So here at Phillip+Island, I thought they might have finally won a centre clearance. They're going to get a free kick though. McKenzie goes down to the wing, and there is Beveridge again, who has had a standout second quarter, as have many of the Warragul Industrials players. So going to go backwards. Ogden trying to outrun Taylor. He does. Goes inside 50. Chest mark in defence there for Tamata. Bradley versus Pedersen. Beck at the back. Bradley tried to keep it alive. And a free kick is, in fact, being paid to Phillip+Island here. Pedersen to receive it. To Puppers. Woodfield pushed in the back. Didn't matter. Regardless, however, took the mark. Now Pearce. And there goes the siren to finish off this first half of footy. My goodness, what a performance from the Warragul Industrials Football Club in that second quarter. They have really caught Phillip+Island off guard, and they now lead by 29 points. They have just been red hot, especially in the middle of the grounds, and they fixed up some of their accuracy in front of goal in that second quarter as well, and it has really pushed them in front. Phillip+Island, they've got a lot to work on. Cam Pedersen, he's been a little bit below his best that we normally see him at as well, but still plenty of time left in this game. Warragul Industrials in front 9-5-59 to Phillip+Island's 4-6-30. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with you shortly.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderkluster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop, and designing in 3D modelling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modelling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. And it's feeling like I'm in the groove. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
So welcome back to the Fairhaven Homes Match of the Round stream in the West Gippsland League, and today we've had a clash between the Warragul Industrials and the Phillip Island Bulldogs, and my goodness, what a wonderful term the Warragul Industrials Footy Club just had. That is probably the best footy I've seen them play all year. They were in brilliant form there, and Phillip Island really had just nothing to answer for, did they? And you saw out there on the field, well, you didn't see, but when we were on that ad break, Cam Pedersen was absolutely ripping into his side. They didn't leave the ground for several minutes, did the Bulldogs, whilst Warragul Industrials were in the rooms. And they currently hold a 29-point lead, but it's going to be interesting to see whether they can sustain that lead. Of course, Phillip Island are renowned for being a quality football side and being able to get back leads. Hell, we saw it on one of our broadcasts in round 4. They were down and under against Nana Goon. I think it was at a similar margin of maybe that 25 to 30 point area. And although they didn't win that day, that they still got 2 points in that draw down there at the island. So we'll be able to see in this next term of footy if they can replicate some similar magic. 59 to 30. Let's get things back underway in the centre circle. Pedersen, he's looking to have a big third quarter after turning it over a bit in that second term, didn't he? Brewster ran into trouble, so had to give it off to, I think that was Gibson. And some good pressure in the middle to start off for the Dogs. Pedersen goes inside forward 50. No mark taken by any of the forwards. It was Batulo leaking out the back. A free kick's going to be paid though. So right off the bat in the first 30 seconds, Phillip Island are going to be able to have a set shot on goal. It's going to be Zach Walker. Directly in front. I'd say maybe about 30 metres out. Really shouldn't be missing that one. Can't say either. Needs to get his side back in this. And he is missed. That is one of the worst. Or maybe I shouldn't say the worst, but it's one of the... what's the right word for this? Dirtier set shots that we've seen this year. But have a look at that. Holding the ball out of full back. Instant pressure there again. This time coming from Jordan. So can Jordan do what Walker couldn't? Give his side a goal early on in the third quarter. Very calm walk in there. Very casual approach to the set shot. It works though. Umpire didn't move. So Walker missed directly out in front, and then they try to run out of full back. Warragul only to give away a free kick to Jordan, who kicked a goal, and it's now back down to 22 points. So Debenham in the middle there. He's turned it over to Brown, or Bruce, who's put it up forward. Taylor bursting through the contest, has given off by hand. They're trying to get it through Woodfields, and they're going to call that holding the ball. Good pressure, good chase. Woodfield's goal to lose as well. So they've exited our defensive 50 here. Ogden was just trying to juggle it around. So boundary throw-in. Bradley won that contest. But Phillip Island had possession. Bruce puts it up forward towards a number of Phillip Island players. Warragul win possession. Walker trying to escape. Beck waiting for the handball, didn't get it. Taylor still chasing half of that footy, trying to create a scoring opportunity. Whistle's blown. There's a free kick to Warragul Industrials. They've played advantage. They're looking dangerous here. Beck, good job from Mackenzie there to affect the contest, and they've given a free kick for front on contact. A little bit stiff. Can see where it came from though. So they've got the numbers back now, Phillip+Island. So maybe that free kick was a blessing in disguise. Herbert. DeSando screaming for the footy, and he'll get a kick laid directly into his chest. And then Gibson. Just playing that slower brand of footy. It's worked for them on some occasions. Here's Taylor and Staples. Knocked it around in his hands for a little moments before finally bringing it under control. Now Staples going to go directly in front. Try to look for Taylor. McGarity always dangerous. And Holmes put a quick stop to that. McGarity slow to get up. Looks fine. Staples versus Pedersen in the ruck. Pedersen was just better in his ruck craft. Kicked it right back to Ogden though. Have a look at Commodore. Should really have a kick there. Was wide open. Directly in front as well. Instead he'll go for Beck or Taylor. Tamata put in a good effort to affect the contest. Brewster trying to avoid multiple Island players. Pedersen playing in defence. Usually see him in the ruck or up forwards. Now have a look at Nickel bursting through the contest there, trying to scoop it up. Phillip+Island doing well there. Mackenzie was tackled about 3 different players and then was slung as well. Had a lot of head contact, and they've got to be careful to not reverse here as Woodfield knocked over Debenham, but a justified free kick played there to Mackenzie. Almost turned it over. Had enough composure. McGarry almost chased him down. Now out back into the centre square. So here's Walker. Plays on. Looking for Dickey. Had to truck the ball in the air before eventually finding it. He's going to enter inside 50. Uncontested. And a fairly easy look on goal as well there for Travis Woodfield. As he can now line himself up. This would certainly make things interesting, but hasn't been able to make his opportunity count. Minor score in the way of the Bulldogs. His third quarter has certainly evened things up a little. So a high, long kick. Ball escape to Marta. Debenham big crunch. He's going to be paid a free kick for that one. Tamata just playing a little bit too rough, you'd think. He seems to be holding his ribs, or maybe his back there as well. Debenham kicks it looking for Taylor. Almost took a great overhead mark. Players diving in head first for the ball. Holmes found himself in a bit of trouble, but put on a great fend off. Griffin disposed of it. Pearce had to work hard to collect the footy and escape the pressure of the Warragul forwards. And the chest mark laid there. This one for Debenham, who has been one of the better Industrials players today. Plays on. Puts it up forward. Nickel big climb. Got nowhere near taking that mark at the end of the day though. And here comes Holmes again. He's had a good third term. Cutting it back inside. Was looking for Hindhaw. Turned it over to, I think that's McGillivray. That was a very accurate kick to DeSando in the middle of the ground. He plays on, looking for McGarity. Ball goes a little bit too far out in front of him though, so has to be clever and give off a very clean handball to Beck, but can't finish off McGarity's good work, as his shot on goal will just drift over to the right. It's back out to 22 points for Warragul. So played on by Griffin. Goes directly into the middle of the ground. Taylor faced a little bit of push and shove. So Beck won that one. Gibson goes to a teammate who then in turn finds Nickel on the flank. Kicking to Nickel was Russell, in fact. Now Mockett versus Pedersen. Who wins this one? Staples almost took a great contested mark. Ball still alive here, tumbling around. Debenham's trying to get a free opportunity. Couldn't. Still lots of pressure around this ball though, and it's going to be thrown in at the boundary line. Bradley over at the back of his head. DeSando, not sure who he was trying to find there. Have a look at Debenham. Didn't have possession of the footy. Probably should have been a free kick in my opinion. Play on is the call though. And we should have a stoppage here. Phillip+Island working their way a little bit up to their end of the ground. Bradley had the mere brute strength to win that hit out. Ball is going to find its way to Taylor, and they might just be out here, the Bulldogs. So have a look at Hindhaugh there in the long sleeve. Evades one. Inefficient disposal, however, so it's going to be a turnover. Warragul Industrials did have possession, but then they faced a bit of pressure themselves, but they just worked harder. So now Walker can go down the line and kick it straight to Pearce. I think either team just lost a bit of composure there. We're a bit rushed to get rid of it. A little bit of hot potato, if you will. No mark taken, but still found its way to Bradley, who then gave his teammate in Walker a knock, I think. Friendly fire. Brewster left all alone. Tamata got to him a bit too late. Now he's going to back himself in here. He looks a little bit unconfident, so he'll go to the top of the goal square looking for Staples or Mockets. Neither of them. DeSando snaps directly in front. He loves it. DeSando, wonderful goal out the back. It's back out to 28 points. Adrian DeSando. His crumbing work has been pretty good today, and we saw it on full display after kicking that major. It has given his side a bit of confidence back. After Phillip+Island were looking really intimidating early on in that third quarter in the opening minutes. Bradley tried to kick it, got a fresh airy. Beck, handball, moving it through hands here. The Dusties entering inside 50 against Staples. Couldn't get the overhead mark to go his way. Tamata perhaps laid a bit of high contact, went unnoticed though. Bruce, Mackenzie had to get rid of it. Kick wasn't all that good though. They found themselves in a bit of trouble, or have they? But have a look at Bruce. He's going to go by hand and find Walton and then get his own footy back. Visser should swoop in and collect this possession here. He doesn't. Still fighting hard as ever though. Ball should go over the boundary line, and it does. After B. Hickman knocked it over, and he is one of the inclusions for this Phillip+Island side today. Haven't been able to call his name a lot though. Bradley to Visser. Ran straight into a Phillip+Island player. Big crunch. DeSando has been pretty good in this third quarter. Scored the last goal as well. Nickel out to Commodore. Just centering the ball. He's struggling to find anyone. It's going to go straight to Bruce. Think he was looking for Beck on the lead. So Bruce plays on quickly. Was looking for Batullo. Only went to Debenham. looking for Nickel. Pearce did well to not give away that mark. And it's just a bit of ping pong for Warragul at the moment. Too easy. They've just got no composure exiting outside defensive 50, Phillip Island. And Warragul are able to just rebound instantly. Pedersen took it straight out of the ruck. And gave it to Walton. That ball will just trickle over the boundary line. They're thrown back into play. Bradley, a swinging sort of fist. It was to no advantage of his teammates. Once again, off that rebound though, they have collected it. Tamata did well to mark it straight on the chest. Hindhaw on the wing. Immediately gives it off to Griffin, who holds themselves. Now B. Hickman. That kick wasn't very good. Execution could have been that little bit better. Ball should go over the boundary line again, and it does. So back in now. That panic sort of kick somehow went straight to the hands of DeSando. Beveridge was pushed, managed to hold on to the mark still, despite B. Hickman. Broadcast side of the wing. Have a look at Nickel there, running fast. Oh, he was absolutely speared into the ground there by Patullo, or Pearce it was rather. My goodness, that must have hurt. Straight into the grass, Nickel went. Mockett lost to Pedersen. Here's Bruce. Debenham was just stronger in the coalface though. Excellent work. Now McGarity running really hard to get there, but just escaped him. Was put that little bit too far out in front. And we'll have the boundary throw in at half forward. Sun glaring in these players' eyes. Pearce over the top. That kick's not really got any accuracy or distance to it. Only went to Herbert, who puts it up to the goal square. Too many numbers, so Pitts has to verse against Beck. Both players were really pressuring him, and then Beck on a 2v1 almost got it across the goal line, but Pedersen out-muscled Staples on that occasion. Oh, jeez. That's something you don't see very often. Pedersen's brought out the top. Wasn't all that good, though, as you hear the cheers and jeers from the Warragul Industrials fans. Beck picked it off pretty cleanly. Gibson now. Was looking for Mockett. Tamata held his own. Templeton was chasing after it. Look at the ball there in Bruce. Try to find Tamata, but went over the boundary line. 17.5 through this one. It's pretty much all Warragul at this stage. Phillip Island haven't really been able to get it into their forward half since the opening minutes of this third term. Thrown back up. Bruce out of the contest. Goes through to the middle of the ground. Rebounds off a player's chest. Hindhaw. Got to move it quickly here, because have a look at Ogden, who chucked on the Jets. And then Taylor was in front, went off his line, looking for a teammate. They're not going to call that a mark, or they will. The latter occurs. And for the first time in quite a while. It's going to be Tarka McMillan going for a set shot on goal. McMillan usually playing in the back line has found himself forward. Front of the ball. Can he kick a clean set shot? You bet he can. Well, what's the call here? The goal umpire looks a little confused. Tarka McMillan is celebrating. Both field and goal umpire just conciliating with each other. Call as a goal. Confirmed by the umpire. So Phillip Island they need 2 in a row here to get it back under 20 points. Nearing closer to extra time though. I suspect this quarter would probably go for around about 27 minutes, around about that mark. So ready to resume play again. Here we go. Bruce. Messy handball to Walton. Pedersen. His handball was a turnover, but they've worked hard to get it back. Walton. Pedersen. Outstretched his body to collect it. Put it up forward to the goals. Can they get back there in time? Oh, I just thought that Woodfield might have been able to sock it off the deck, but goes through for a behind. Phillip Island have not been this troubled in a long time. They have been in stellar form almost all year. So now out at centre wing, Beck is trying his absolute hardest to win possession of it. Was only able to punch it over the boundary. Hindhaw faked out his handball, sent it inside 50, looking for anyone. Ogden, the defender who has played a really good game today, was able to affect that contest perfectly. Russell was looking for Mockett. Hit no one's chest. Certainly bounced on out of bounds. Here's Beck again. He's probably been one of the best on ground today for either side. Dickey cleaned the ball up at ground level wonderfully. And sent out forward for McMillan, who's going to play on immediately. Look for Woodfield. He was uncontested. Great execution on the kick as well, as he now has an opportunity directly in front. Hasn't been the most accurate for today, Travis Woodfield. But you reckon a kick directly in front, 30 metres out, would get his confidence up and about. Woodfield, oh no, they've missed another goal directly in front. First it was Walker, now it was Woodfield. He is really not having a good day in front of the two big ones. So can they get a repeat entry? Or is that only given Warragul another opportunity to extend their lead if they get it back down? It's only 20 points now though, so I suppose you could argue it was a handy point. You just feel as if another goal for Phillip Island would really get them up and about. And after Herbert was trapped underneath our pack, we're going to have another ball up. Gibson tried to push over Dickey to get possession of the footy, and then a dribbler will go over the boundary once again. This time it's true centre wing. opposite to the broadcast side of the ground. So push in the back is the call here in favour of Phillip Island. I think they were trying to try to play advantage there, but it's going to be called back. To Pedersen as well. So Pedersen, his long kick will go up towards the front of goals. They just need to get clean possession here, Phillip Island. Russell in front of goals is able to knock it into the post for another Phillip Island behind, but they are getting repeat entries, the Dogs here. In the past couple of minutes, they have been better than Warragul in the contest. So they're just going to go to that same spot on the wing again. Beck tried something cheeky. So have a look at this. Walton, who's had a brilliant third quarter, puts it up inside 50 again. Is that a goal? No, I think that's just gone across the face once more. Didn't see if that was out of bounds on the full or if it was marked by a Warragul Industrials player, but regardless, they've got possession now. Brewster, now DeSando. I feel as if they've got to add a bit of speed onto the ball. Their slower ball movement hasn't really worked in the past. Maybe 10 minutes or so, Phillip Island have been on top of them in that regard. Russell. I think he'll put it out into space. Or into the pack, I should say. Gibson probably should have taken that mark. Just lost control at the last minute. Handballs going everywhere for Phillip Island. Hindhaw got it out. Looking for a teammate in the middle of the ground in Holmes. Couldn't get there though. So now Walker, all he's got to do is pick it up cleanly. Just got the handball off. But now have a look at this. Bruce trying to push to the middle. 2 fend-offs in a row. And I think they've called high contact on him as well. That is really unfortunate because he would have done extremely well. You're hearing the fans calling for the 50 there. I don't think that was all that justified. Brewster across to Herbert. Now it's centre wing. Debenham, he's been excellent, hasn't he? Most certainly in the votes conversation at the minute. They've just been halted up again by this Phillip Island zone they've currently implemented. Pearce should mark this. Doesn't. Going further inside 50. And then McGarry just lacked in the height department. Griffin gave himself that opportunity. Tamata. He's called the play on after he stepped a little off his line. Finds Woodfield. 27 minutes gone in this third quarter. Woodfield decides to cut it back. Visser, always affecting every contest he's a part of though. Wasn't good enough though. Didn't have the numbers, Warragul Industrials, because now have a look at Holmes. Short, chipping sort of kick. Goes towards Pedersen, who was on a slight angle, 50 metres out. Now, the distance will not trouble him here. Perhaps the winds that it has been fairly strong today here at Western Park will though. Pedersen really needs to score this goal for his side to be back in it. It's got the legs on it. Oh no, it's hit the post. And you just see it there slightly shaking in the wind. That would have been an excellent make for Cam Pedersen if that went through for a major. 10-6-66, play 6-12-48. Phillip Island perhaps losing this one now because of their inaccuracy. Have had plenty of opportunities including 2 goals directly in front in this third quarter. We'll have a stoppage. Hindhaugh calling for out of bounds on the full. Boundary umpire disagrees. So thrown in. Neither ruck got a good hit out there. It's going to go to grounds. Gibson. And there goes the sign for 3/4 time. I reckon we've got an absolutely huge finish among us. 10-6-66 plays 6-12-48. It sits at an 18-point lead for Warragul Industrials. Phillip+Islands, they've been inaccurate all day, but can they kick 4 last quarter goals to get up in front and steal victory here at Western Park at a Saturday afternoon? We'll take a short break and a last break for that matter, and we'll be back shortly for the final term of footy.
I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm letting go in my heart. Ah, of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the groove. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderkluster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favorite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community. A community that likes to work hard. Digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
So welcome back to the Fairhaven Homes Match of the Round stream in the West Gippsland League. Phillip Island here versus Warragul Industrials at Western Park. And the Dusties, they're up by 18 points at three-quarter time, but, well, I must admit, Phillip Island, despite their inaccuracies, they were the much better team in that third quarter, and they've kicked 6-12-48 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard, and who knows, if they just kicked a little bit straighter, they might have been in front by now. They had two set shots directly in front of goal in Zach Walker and Travis Woodfield, but just haven't been able to make the most of their opportunities. Hence why they are down by 3 goals, although they have plenty of time. And who knows, they even may rotate Pedersen into the forward line. That is typically worked on numerous occasions if they wish to gather a bit of a lead. Don't really have the height. Maybe Tamata. But I'm not sure if he would have the brute strength of Mark Bradley. And that's probably Pedersen's main worry at the moment. Just he'd want to go forward because you know he can kick like up to bags of 6 if he wants to. But unfortunately, Bradley is one of the ruckmen to reckon with in this competition. So who knows, we may see Pedersen up there, we may not. Nonetheless, fourth quarter has now begun, and we'll have a stoppage right away after the first bounce of the fourth term. Pedersen pushed Bradley out the way. Phillip Island moving forward. Tarkin, McMillan just giving up on the chase there as the ball escapes him and Bailey Beck. Big last quarter coming up. Don't take your eyes off the screen. I'm having a sneaking suspicion that Phillip Island might be able to get back and snatch victory here away from home. What has Debenham got to say about that, though? Gives it off to Herbert, and then Brewster, who puts the ball up forward, further down the wing. Phillip Island have won back the footy here, though, so good work, and their handballs are accurate as well. Holmes has had a good third quarter. Good start to his fourth as well. Hindhaw, that was a really good handball, but Papa's just lost control of it, didn't he? Now the ball is running its way across that wing. McGarity trying to tap it to himself. Slips over, however. So now McKenzie, he's going to have to get rid of it before he's called for holding the ball. It's a good tackle by Beck. Papa's redeemed himself, got it off to Holmes, who then went to Bruce in the middle of the ground, who claims Nichols a bit off the mark. Bruce has McMillan or Taylor. No discussion though. Pedersen, don't argue. Oh my goodness, he's shrugged off the tackle. And then he's a kick to Major as well. No, he's drifted left. And another miss for the Phillip Island Footy Club. They are currently now 6-13-49. The Dusties 10-6-66 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. And they are just kicking themselves out of this game here. Good kicking is good footy. Simple as that. So Walker goes to Bradley. Brewster further down the line here at Western Park. Staples couldn't take a clean mark. Phillip Island have won themselves back possession of the footy once again. Ogden, good chest mark, despite Taylor's looming presence. So Ogden, do a little chip kick over to Beck with a Todd variety, the skipper. He's certainly put in a captain's performance today as well. He's been one of the best for Warragul Industrials. No mark taken. Hindhaw was crawling for the ball. Beveridge lost possession of it. Was knocked out of his hands. High contact. Who's this in favour of? The Bulldogs. Walton. He had a good third term as well. Hindhaw in the centre square. He'll put it up forward, looking for any forward to take hold of it. Taylor leaps up high. Couldn't get possession of the Sharon though. It's gone straight back out to Pedersen, who's playing behind the ball. Mockett chasing hard after it. Have a look at Nickel here though. Now entering inside 50. Mackenzie versus, I think that's McGarity. Who's going to win the foot race? Hasn't made its way there. It hasn't. Mackenzie held off the ball. And then McGarity climbs over the top of him. And over the boundary line it goes. Jeez. Both players so desperate to get possession of the footy. And Mackenzie has saved his side a crucial goal. Pedersen goes to Tomato on the hit out. Have a look at Papas here. How does he get rid of it? Kicks it to Brown or Bruce. Bruce is just patient. Doesn't want to be though, wants to get rid of it immediately. Looking for Taylor. Ogden got the hand to it first though. Another stoppage. Right in the middle of the wing, on the broadcast side of the field. Big stoppage coming up here. 4 minutes 50 into this fourth term. Still plenty of time for the Island. Hindhaugh has been given a free kick for high contact. The fans seem to disagree. Inside 50. Have a look at Patullo. Was nudged in the back a little bit and almost played on as well after a controversial free kick for Hindhaugh. Warragul Industrial fans were furious about it, as was Will Gibson. But all eyes on Jesse Patullo. He's getting very close. That man on the mark. Wow, Russell. They can still recover here. Another smother from Sam Russell. Excellent defensive efforts. My goodness. Tip your hat to number 18, Sam Russell. 2 smothers in a row. Still a dangerous situation here for Warragul Industrials. They're deep inside 50, the Bulldogs. Debenham puts a high one up onto the wing. Mockett nearly came down with the footy. Phillip+Island looking to escape the contest. They've got a couple numbers around the ball here. Warragul Industrials, it's a turnover. Gibson, was he caught high? Perhaps not. Templeton runs down. Looking for a man now. Commodore looks to put his team back inside 50. Looking for McGarity. No. Ball will trickle over the boundary line. A stoppage in the forward pocket for Warragul. Their work in the coalface today has been something to admire. Only moments ago, it was Jesse Patullo lining up for a crucial set shot. Now they're at the other end of the ground looking to score a goal of their own. McGarity out of the pack has made its way home. Mason McGarity, he is one of the star forwards of this competition and shows exactly why he has acclaimed that sort of position in this league. $11,672 plays 6-13-49. 23 points the difference now. They'd need to kick 5 goals, Phillip+Island, to get this lead. We're 7.5 minutes through this fourth quarter. As the second loss of the season looms large for Phillip+Island. Kicked out onto the wing. Debenham chasing hard after it. Might have to use McGivleray. Ignores that option. Just kicks it straight down the line into forward 50. Staples. The ball escaped his grasp. Now Phillip+Island with possession of the footy and an opportunity to run through the middle of the grounds. Pedersen. Holmes. Evades Beck. Now onto the wing. Kick's going to go a little bit too far out for McMillan to get there in time. And then him and Ogden get into it as well. Cheeky sort of stuff. They must kick a goal now. They must win this stoppage. Gibson going to make his way over the boundary line. So Gibson and Puppers just pushing and shoving each other. Pedersen won the hit out on this occasion. It's been a great contest between him and Bradley all day. Have a look at Bruce there over the shoulder. Call wasn't made. Beck and Bruce going at it. Now at the flank for Phillip Island. What can they do here? They've really struggled without Max Blake. High contact. It's going towards Warragul. So you see a bit of good sportsmanship there from Bradley as well as he checks up on Brown. Both Bruce rather. My mistake. And hang on, they've given away a free kick to Phillip Island here. What has happened here? Was it a reversal? I'm left confused here. Taylor and Bruce were both on the ground writhing in pain, and all of a sudden a free kick's been given away. After the high contact free kick was given to Warragul Industrials, you hear the boos echo around here at Western Park. Jack Taylor, this is huge, walks in. That's on its way. Jack Taylor gives it to the crowd as well. We've got a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. 10.5 minutes through this fourth term. A controversial call has led to a Jack Taylor major. My goodness. So now, once the animation goes away, 11-6, 72 to 7-13, 55 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. We have got an intense clash coming up. It now sits at a mere 18 points. Pedersen reached out to try and get the hit out. Gibson gave it off to Herbert. This is some really clean ball movement. Have a look at Beck going up towards, I think that may have been Herbert inside 50. A turnover though. Jones, the 100 gamer, sends it out to Pedersen, who was uncontested, left all alone on that wing. Now he's going to take his time. B. Hickman screaming for possession of the footy. Chucks it up towards a Pack. Out of bounds on the full. And although he's been pretty good in the ruck today across all areas, all other areas of the ground, Pedersen has just been a little bit off his game. McGivleray. Gonna send a kick up back into the forward line for Warragul Industrials. Gibson chasing hard for it. Ball going towards the goal line here. DeSando. No, it somehow remains alive. Staples around the body. Is that a mark? A mark has been paid here. A great contested grab by Debenham. He's going to run across. He's going to give it a good snap. All clear. Warragul Industrials score another. Twelve 6 78, 7-13 55. 23 points the difference. So just see here at the centre circle. It's Pitts and Beveridge going at it. Bradley won another hit out. Gibson kicks it around his body, entering inside 50. Can McGarity put the dagger in the heart? He can't. It's going to go out in the full, or rather just stayed in bounds, and we'll have a boundary throw in. The more preferable end to that situation for the Dusties, as they are looking like they are going to get a big upset here on Saturday afternoon. Gives them a lot of confidence going into finals as well, if they are to win this one, which is looking likely. Ball goes to ground. Another stoppage called. Pedersen spinning his way out of trouble. Jones, now McKenzie. Handball over the top, looking for Walton. Beveridge was waiting for it though. Jones goes to Walton. And I think that's Holmes, just using his strength to bump his way out of the situation. McKenzie now uncontested. At half back, decides to run a risky sort of switch. Goes to Jordan. Pedersen. Jordan. Getting it through multiple sets of hands. Jordan! Brought to ground by McGarity. And then they're just going to call it back here. Don't think they'll allow the advantage. McGarity, well done there. So McGarity's just going to go the shorter option in Beveridge. He'll swing it across on the left. Should be a mark for Visser in his 100th. And if he scores this one, I am just about to be ready to say this one is all finished. And that Warragul will pull off one of the best upsets of this year. Nick Visser, in game number 100, strolls in without any doubt. He's scored it. A nice little finish to his milestone game. And I think Warragul Industrials are going to get home in this one. They now lead by 29 points. 13-6, 84 plays 7-13, 55 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. And Warragul most certainly deserve this one as well. They've been the better side for majority of this game. And they deserve the 4 points. And the ladder is certainly intriguing me at the moment, because they'll go to 8 and 7 after this game, Warragul, as they move it forward Phillip-Island. Herbert trying to push through. Inefficient disposal, however. So Phillip-Island will be able to go forward. McGivleray, panic sort of kick, just sent it straight out to Dickey. Lost control of the footy. Now Herbert, big handball. Intended target was Beck, made its way there. Now DeSando. How good is this ball movement, Dusties fans? DeSando finds an uncontested man. Could get his own ball back as well. How was the work rate from DeSando? And that is all going to be ruined by playing on from that mark there. Was just a little bit too confident. But geez, DeSando worked from one end of the ground to the other. Was a receiver and a giver of the ball on multiple occasions in that little sequence there. So although he didn't get the goal, good job Adrian DeSando. Mockett, Beck, Herbert, Templeton, chasing for it. Got a good piece of it, sent out forward. That is an accurate kick, my goodness. Cody Templeton, the perfect strike off the laces. And that looks to be nickel now, and it is. Directly in front of goals. 30 metres out off that outstanding kick from Templeton. Hopefully Nickel can give them a goal assist for his hard work. And Maybe it's just that end of the ground. Maybe it's the wind, because that is now 3 set shots directly in front of that side of the grounds that have resulted in a behind and not a goal. But we're just having a quick look here at the ladder now. So Warragul Industrials are 7-7. They'll go to 8-7 after this. Coralline are 5th on 9-5. Nana Goon on 9-4. So I'd have to have a look at how the Coralline game is going at the moment. They're beating Garfield 124-45. So they won't be able to climb up any further on the ladder today, unfortunately. And we don't know how the Nana Goon game is going down at Dalston, but you'd assume they'd be getting the job done there. So they won't be moving up the ladder, but geez, this gives them a lot of confidence going into finals, knowing they can compete with the best. But Phillip-Island have had a really good link-up of play here. Now can enter inside 50. The kick is going to find its way over to Dickey, who plays on straight away, goes one way, then the other. Little scrubber sort of kick right into the chest of Bradley. And you hear the jeers from the crowd there. Beck. Easy as that for Mockett. Mockett kicks it down the line. Mark unable to be taken by Staples. Gibson, he's been superb in this one. Visser, can he go for 2 majors on his 100th? No, just put a little bit too much bend on that kick there. And another behind for the Dusties. Now, ticking over into extra time. 86 plays 55. They're up by 31 points. Tamata's finding himself in a bit of trouble here, as is the other defenders for the Bulldogs. Wow, the pressure here is really good from Warragul. And Herbert will kick that one, and that will be a behind, I assume. Or no, maybe it was out on the full. In fact, I think it was. So Jordan. Falling over was Nickel. Stoppage at half forward flank for the Dusties. So thrown back up. Pedersen took it clean out of the ruck. Tapped across to Holmes. Just moving it cleanly here in the back line. Walton across the goal line. Jordan to Mackenzie, who had a bit of trouble getting clean possession of it, and DeSando swings him across over the boundary. Pedersen, another clean take out of that ruck. Ogden won the footy, however. Had about 3 different Bulldogs chasing after him, though. Now Bailey Beck. His kick was a little rushed. Out on the full. Turns it back over to Phillip-Island. Ball's going to dribble its way through the centre square. Before Gibson came crashing through and created a stoppage for his side in the middle of the ground. Pedersen, another hit out. B. Hickman had a bit of trouble getting out of that one. Pedersen now. Good punch, Ogden. Really could have given that mark away to Walker, but put in the extra 2 efforts. And then a good kick out to Visser. Handball, McGarity, who goes for a goal. Mason McGarity has hit the post. Don't think that misses any blip on his afternoon, though. He's probably been the best on ground. So impactful whenever the ball goes up forward for the Dusties. He's had a superb season. Continuing his form from last year. Walton took a strong grab. Jones found himself in a bit of trouble after the handball was deflected. And a little bit of a late tackle there. So they've played advantage. Pierce. Accurate kick. Found its way to Batulo. So he's going to enter inside 50. Too easy for Bradley. Big Mark Bradley. As my co-commentator Boxer used to say. Loved watching him play, he did. And you see Herbert there just egging on the crowd to get a bit louder. Puts it down the line. Staples. Such a good contested mark, isn't he? Almost 25 minutes through this fourth quarter now. It's going to be a certain Dusty's victory after a really strong performance all afternoon. Pierce. McKenzie looks to run the switch. The kick was not executed all that well though, so Walker might get to it before Batulo does. Batulo now trying to handball it to a teammate. Got it off well. The tackle was laid on. I'm trying to see who that was. I think it was the other Batulo and Jesse. So Tamata in the ruck now. Gibson getting another clearance. He's had a couple of those today. Taylor ran to his own teammate. McGarity, another goal to his name. You betcha. McGarity has been the star of this show that we've had on today. As this is now really becoming a blowout. 38 points is now the difference between these two teams. 93 to 55 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. And they have just been another cut above today, Warragul. They were a wild card in last year's final series and are certainly shaping up to be a big player once again in the 2023 final series. As I said, this is going to give them a lot of confidence this week, knowing they can bring it to the league's best. Phillip+Island picking up their second loss of the year. Phillip+Island have not lost a game of footy since round 2 where they lost to Inverloch by 36. So Herbert puts a real high one up towards the goal square. And the nickel again. They are just pouring on the goals here, the Warragul Industrials Footy Club. But the goal is not going to go through, I believe. Not sure what happened there. Maybe a free kick was paid that I didn't notice. Jones. Pedersen. Hintor now in the middle. Plays on quickly. Looks to fake out one opponent and then give it off. And then Batulo can maybe make the scoreline look a little bit better. Woodfield should get this. And that's a goal there for Travis Woodfield. Been inaccurate today. But it'll be nice to finish off like that for his day. $14.993 plays 8:13.61 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. And you can only assume there'd be maybe a minute or so left as the sun begins to set over Western Park. Always a beautiful sight this late afternoon at Western Park in the winter. It's been a beautiful day today despite the windy conditions. Stoppage in the centre square. Pedersen just able to give a light tap. Brewster out the middle. Looking to enter inside 50 again is Debenham. Hell, he might just kick this goal himself if he wants. No, the kick was just a little bit too short. Pedersen dishes it off to Jordan, or to Marta rather. Walton lost it. Tapped along the grounds by the different Phillip Island players there. I think that was Dickey who did that one. Walker to Ogden. Retreating back down the game, and they're just looking to take any sting that is left out of the game. Russell, he is really one of the heroes in his fourth quarter. When Patullo was looking to give his side a really good bit of momentum, he laid two different smothers against that very player to stop a goal from occurring, and then I think McGarrity at the other end was able to score. Beveridge, centre wing on the right side of the ground. Looking for Visser. Pedersen was just a little bit too tall for him though. And there goes your siren. One of the biggest scalps the Dusties have taken all year, let alone one of the biggest scalps that has been taken by really any team in the 2023 West Gippsland season. A terrific performance from the Warragul Industrials. Sees them win this contest by 32 points as they now go into the 2023 final series in just a couple weeks with a supreme amount of confidence. They were just on another level today. And Phillip Island, they pick up their first loss since round 2 against Inverloch. And all of a sudden, this competition is wide open. Inverloch, their undefeated streak was ended last week against Narnagoon. Phillip Islands lose their streak of dominance against Warragul today. Tirran and Dalmore looking a bit shaky. And then Narnagoon, Coralin, Warragul Industrials. Who knows what they can provide when they're at their best level come finals time. Certainly a lot of factors to play out. Let's go into the post-game show as we'll quickly discuss some of the vote getters. For one vote, I'm going to go Will Gibson. He was just absolutely superb in the middle of the ground today. Won a number of clearances and contested possessions and was just hard as ever down there in the coalface. Really liked his game today. Was really aggressive. For 2 votes, I would give that maybe to Todd Beck. His work from half back and down the on the wing was just something to admire, and he really brought it up to another level against Phillip Island and brought the intensity and the aggression against them as well, and was very clean with his use of the ball. And the skipper, that is a performance to be proud of. And as for 3 votes, fortunately wasn't keeping track of how many he had. I think it was around about 5 or 6 maybe. Mason McGarrity, how could you go past him? Every time the ball went inside 50, he was just scoring majors and no one could really stop him. Phillip Island really struggled to limit his influence all day. And McGarrity, he's certainly priming himself up for a big final series, assuming they make it, which they most definitely will. After today, Dalston are effectively no chance. So we'll have the same top 6 as we did last year, you would assume, unless something drastic was to change in the finals race. And have a look at this here. Visser getting carried off the ground in game number 100 by Jackson Mockett. I think that's Beck as well there. Good scenes out here at Western Park today. So, that will do us all for today in the Fairhaven Homes Match of the Round stream. Warragul Industrials carrying a bit of momentum going into their final series for 2023, getting revenge for last year's heartbreaking preliminary defeat. They beat the Phillip Island Bulldogs by 32 points, 93 to 61.